Hello and welcome to the MusicOnline UK live hangout live stream podcast that we're doing for those of you who are self-isolating and staying at home. Okay, and now so this to be a success, we need some audience participation. Right, I just need to turn the volume down on my computer. I forgot about that because I'm getting some feedback. All the joys of live streaming, huh? So let me just turn off the volume on my computer. Okay, there we go. Right, so as I was saying, for this to be a success, we need some participation from you. Okay, what we're going to be doing today is just talking about some things where you are and what the situation is, what you're doing, and especially what you're doing at home to help your musical education in these times when you have a little bit extra time that you normally didn't have before. Okay, so for example, I got a little comment here already. It's from Family Smith and it says, "My name is Jude and I'm from Portsmouth in the UK." Okay, so maybe you could let us know, what exactly you're doing in this time of enforced lockdown that's specifically helping your musical education. By the way, if any of you are joining late, please do not rewind back to the beginning because we're going to be doing later some interactive things and they won't work if you're watching out of time. Just fast forward to the live moment, and then later if you want to watch from the beginning, you can always go back and watch it again later. Okay, so Jude, let me know, you've just introduced yourself from Portsmouth. What are you doing particularly for this period of enforced lockdown that's helping your musical education? Maybe you could share with the community as well. All right, and anyone else who's joined. We've got 5 people watching now, so don't be shy. The success of this hangout is a hangout, all right? We're going to share things together, and later there's going to be a little virtual pub quiz, all right? But I'll tell you more about that a little bit later. All right, the success of this hangout is that we interact one with each other, all right? So, Jude's saying he's going to be practicing your weakest area, which is mainly sight reading and oral. Now, it is true. How many people, when they, in the normal schedule of things, don't really practice sight reading enough. And then they get to the exam and they think, I'm not very good at sight reading. Well, there's a reason why you're not good at sight reading, is because you don't practice. So now is a golden opportunity to improve that skill. Okay? Anyway, as I was saying, and maybe you can give some more comments later. Some others, you're a little bit shy and they're not sort of quite up with the chat yet. But one of the things that has occurred through this period of enforced lockdown, let's call it that, is that people can't go out socially. They can't go to their cafes and their bars and restaurants and things like that. And in the UK, we have a little bit of a tradition of what we call the pub quiz. I'm not sure if it exists in other countries. And it's a little tradition where people would just gather socially, they'd have a drink, but they'd also get into teams and just have a little random general knowledge quiz called a pub quiz. Okay, I've got some more comments coming in. Right, Anthony Gibbs from Cornwall saying, "I am trying to structure my practice better and recording my practice more." Now that is a really good idea, Anthony, recording your practice, because sometimes when we're playing and when we're practicing, we don't notice certain things that we're doing, and then we listen back and think, did I really play it like that? Yeah, well, recording your own practice is an excellent idea. Okay, Miss River D, "Hi, I'm Lynn and I live in Scotland, practicing my weak areas." Okay, what would you say your weak areas are, Miss River D? And Natalie AU from Hong Kong. So we've got some international students here. How are you using your time, Natalie, for this enforced lockdown? What's the situation like there? Are you able to go out? So I think pretty much it's quite strict in Hong Kong from what I've heard, yeah? Anyway, let's go back to our little pub quiz. We've got a few introductions here. And I want you to actually give the answers in the chat, all right? So we can have like a little competition, and the first person to get the correct answer would win that particular point, okay? We also have Uncle James from Singapore, who's practicing his hand-on drills. Well done, Uncle James, okay? Nice to have you all here. So, let's get on with this pub quiz, okay? And, if I can find where I put it, actually it might be an idea if I copy and pasted the question. So number one is going to be whether a little piece that I'm going to play, a little extract for you, is in a major or a minor key. Okay, so here's the question come up in the chat. Major or minor? Right, so I'm going to play you a little tiny extract of a piece. If any of you did grade, no, that's the wrong book, the covers there, grade 3 piano in the previous syllabus, you might even recognise this piece. Anyway, have a listen and tell me whether it's in a major or a minor key. There will be harder questions later, but there's an easy warm-up one. Okay, so I think Natalie got the point there. She came in first with the answer. Now, it's a little bit unfair if you've got a faster internet connection. So you're all correct. Oh, I think we should have a bonus point for Family Smith because they actually identified the key. It is C major, but I only asked whether it's a major or minor. So technically Natalie got the answer in first, so you get a point there, Natalie. But Family Smith gets a bonus point for an extra, how can I say, astute answer. I'm going to keep a little scoreboard. 1 second. I should have thought of this before. A little pencil and paper. So we have Natalie on 1 point and Family Smith on a bonus point. All right, Family Smith on a bonus point. Now, there are, how many questions to follow? Yeah, we're going up to 10 questions. So you've got to get your fingers ready on that chat keyboard. And there's a good question actually. Now, also in this Hangout, you are free to ask little questions that might crop up during this quiz. So that's fine. Will the ABRSM require you to know the key? For the particular grade oral that they ask about the major and the minor tonality, it is simply major or minor. To know what key it is, you would have to have perfect pitch, and that wouldn't be fair to ask people that don't have perfect pitch to name the key, all right? A slight variation on that is if you're doing higher grades and you have to identify modulations. And in a modulation, the examiner will say, right, it starts in G major, and what key does it modulate to? Now you could say the dominant, or you could say D major. So in that sense, with a bit of theory knowledge, yeah, you have to know keys. But for just saying, is it major or minor in the grade 3, I think it is, you don't need to name the key, just say it's major or minor. Okay. And another little question here. I know it's not very relevant, but is there like an average age for grade 8 exam takers? I wouldn't personally know the exact amount, but I would suggest that it depends on the country. I think there's a lot more pressure in some of the countries from the eastern side, if you like, Asian countries, to push the children to go through their exams further. And in my experience, people doing grade 8 in the more European countries would tend to do them around the age of 15 to 18, I would think. But there might be a slightly younger average for countries in the Asian sort of exam boards. Okay, now let's go on to the second question in our little pub quiz, which is, from what period do you think the music comes? Now I'll copy and paste that into the chat here. What musical period? That's not there, and I just didn't copy the right thing. The joys of live streaming. If you make a mistake, everyone's watching. But we're still just hanging out on this time when we got nothing much better to do than Okay, right, now we've got one suggestion. I'm going to play it again. See how many others? All right, okay. I'm going to pause there a second. The question is what period, but there is a bonus point for giving reasons why you thought the period that you're suggesting is correct. Okay, and the best answer will get the bonus point. Okay, here it is again. Okay, right. So, let's look in through these answers here. YTSAS is suggesting romantic. No one's scored any points yet. So, come on, the rest of you. Let's have some more suggestions. I'm sorry to say it's not... Yes, Family Smith gets another point. And classical, simple melody and the use of crescendos, diminuendos, which is true. You don't get those in the Baroque period, but you do get variations in tempo on a graduated basis, yeah, in the classical period. All right, predictable phrase lengths and melody and accompaniment type of, yeah, texture. So that's a very good answer. So I'm actually going to give Family Smith a bonus point as well. Now, Natalie and Anthony, you are correct, but unfortunately, I can only give the point in for the first correct answer. So, in this pub quiz, we have, so far, the scores are, Natalie is on 1 point, and Family Smith is on 3 points. Okay, now, you've got to be quick with those fingers, with typing fingers, I mean. Right, third question. This time, I am going to copy and paste, and make sure I do this time. Question 3. I want you to name, and you can't do this ahead of time because you've got to hear them first, 3 melodic intervals that I'm going to play, coming from that tune. Right. And you've got to name all 3 of them. Okay? So the first person who gets all 3 correct. Now, to do this, really, I should cover my hands so that you can't cheat. So, I'm going to get another book, covering my hands. Here are 3 intervals from the tune. I'll play them again. So there are 3 pairs of notes, which make 3 melodic intervals. Okay. What were those intervals? Now, I want you to write all 3 down at the same time. Okay. It might take a little bit longer to work out this answer to this question, Obviously on a live stream there's going to be a little bit of a pause now, so I'm going to fill it up with a little bit of a semitone, tone and major third. Is not the correct answer. Anyone else going to hazard a guess? Do you want to hear them again? I'll play them a bit slower. That's the first one. Second one. Third one. Now, Family Smith, your last answer isn't typed correctly because you just put perfect without any number. Correct. Right, you get the full points on there, Family Smith. Now, obviously, this is becoming a little bit of a monopoly. So the rest of you got to really get those typing fingers in quicker. It is a perfect fourth. As in eine kleine Nachtmusik, yeah? The beginning of eine kleine Nachtmusik. And then, sorry. So the G to the E, because we're in C major, is a minor third, as in a minor arpeggio. And then it goes down a step, D, up to A. Perfect fifth. Okay, right, so the scores are still 1 to Natalie, and Family Smith has 4 points. Now, is Family Smith going to run away with this? Or can the rest of you get in a little bit quicker? Come on, we need some faster fingers typing. I am now going to play you a harmonic interval. Just 2 notes, but at the same time, right? Copying and pasting that into the chat. Alright, so you've got to hear the bottom and the top note at the same time. And which one actually was I going to do? Okay, that one there. Right. Can you, oh, I've got to cover my hands again, otherwise you'll cheat. Right. Can you name this harmonic interval? I'll play it again. Comes from the piece. Who can be the first one to name that harmonic interval? No, it's not a minor third. So, the rest of you got a chance now. Come on, get in before Family Smith, before he runs away with this. She runs away with this, sorry. And it's not a major third either. Now, if you just guess, wait, no. This is quite fun, this pub quiz. Perfect fourth is not the correct answer. I mean, we can go through about 13 intervals and we'll get there in the end. Major fifth is not the correct answer. Do you want to hear it again? Let me get my... Now we're getting closer. Come on. I will give you, now this is for the Scottish people among you. The interval, the melodic interval that is derived from this harmonic interval is the first 2 notes of My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean. So, major sixth, and you got it again, Family Smith. Now that is just, the other ones of you, you've got to get in quicker here. Yeah, My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean. Yeah, major sixth. There we go. Now, actually, your first answer, minor third, was very close in the sense that it was an inversion. Minor third inverted is a major sixth. So, There we go. Right, now, we're only less than halfway through the quiz, I think. Okay, so we've got 5 points for Family Smith and 1 for Natalie. Where are the rest of you? Let's go on to question 5. Okay, right, I am going to play you a phrase from this piece and I want you to name the cadence, okay? So, I'll just put that in the chat, copy and paste, and can you tell me what the cadence is? Now, sorry, just work out which phrase I was going to do. I did prepare this earlier. Right, this one here. So, I'm going to play this phrase. What is that cadence? I think we'll have to put Family Smith on a timeout. Give someone else a chance. And I didn't even paste the question, did I? I put it in the box to... There it is. Yeah, he's too fast. Right, should we give someone else a chance? Now, Family Smith, I'm in awe at the speed you can answer these questions. And it sort of creates a little bit of competition for everyone else. But would you like to sit the next question out? Okay. Because it's not becoming fair for the others. I don't know why they can't type as fast as you. Just one question, all right? Give the others a chance. Okay, so the next question is, can you name... I'm going to actually write the question in this time. I didn't post it. I just copied it and didn't post it. Right, copy and paste that in there and send it. Can you name the chords that I used in that cadence? Right, there's a bonus point in here. Okay, there's a sort of an answer and there's a bonus point. So here is the first chord and the second chord. Can you name those two chords? Right, well, YTSAS, what's your name, by the way? Do you want to call you YTSAS? Do you have a name or do you want to be just called YTSAS? Okay, we'll be YTSAS. And I'll give you a point, but for a bonus point, AD, right, okay, AD. I'm not sure what the ha-ha, maybe it's my pronunciation, but I obviously can't hear how it's pronounced because this is written rather than spoken. Now, it is 5-1, correct, but there is a bonus point for hearing something else, and it's not about inversions. They're both in root position. So, who is going to get the bonus point? I'll play it again. I'll actually play you chord 5 exactly. All right, and here's what I played. Subtly different. Yes, it's got a 7th in it. It's the dominant 7th. It's that slightly richer sound, AD. Right, so 2 points to AD. Okay. Now, let's go on to the next question. Right, the next one is a modulation. Okay, I'm just going to copy that question and paste it into the chat. Now, if you can remember the piece, can I come back now? You can come off the naughty step, Family Smith, yes. Okay, right, now, here is a phrase which modulates to a different key, okay? I might give some bonus points here. Let's see what we can do. Modulated to another key at that point. And it's not the relative minor. There's a point for just saying the relationship between the original key and the final key, and an extra point if you can actually name the key. So, do we have any answers for the modulation? Do you want to hear it again? Let's play one more time. It starts in C, but it doesn't go to F. Not the subdominant, so we're running out of options here. It's C to G, and who can name the actual relationship between C and G? What is G in relationship to C? The dominant. Okay, so we're going to give 1 point to Family Smith and another to AD, wasn't it? That's your name. Okay, good. Right, we're coming forward towards one of the final questions. Oh, now this is a good one. This is not in ABRSM oral tests. It's not even in Trinity oral tests. It's more, how could I say, in Trinity theory. But you can hear it from what I'm playing. All right, now, I'm going to give you some options. Copy, and right, in the chat here, I'm going to post to you accented or unaccented, passing note or auxiliary note. Okay, so that's 4 options there. There's an accented passing note and an unaccented passing note, an accented auxiliary note, and an unaccented auxiliary note. Okay, I'm just going to play you a little phrase, but point out which one note I want you to identify. So, in this phrase here, that note there. Okay, I'll play it again. I'll stop on the note and then carry on. How would you label the note that I stopped on? An accented passing note, an unaccented passing note, an accented auxiliary note, or an unaccented auxiliary note? Not accented auxiliary, accented passing note, and again, Jude has the points there, all right? Because a passing note goes between one melody note and another note. Right, so the melody note before it and the melody note after it, and it passes between the two. But because it comes on a beat, it's an accented passing note, okay? So that's, okay, if it's a random guess, yeah, like a sort of suspension. Although a suspension is the same note that you had. So if I had another chord like this before, and the F was part of that chord, and then, yeah, and you just hang it over from a previous F. So it's not so much passing, but just hanging on. It's suspended from earlier. All right, that's what a suspension is. Okay, right, now we're going to go on to another question. And all right, now one of the ABRSM, how can I say, things that they ask you to look out for in the general questions is to describe the character of the piece. Now, I don't think the quality of the camera is good enough for you to actually read the very, very small writing on that page. I want you to work out what Italian term the composer wrote. Okay? So think of the Italian term that describes the character of this piece. I'm going to copy that up. this is quite a tricky question because there are lots of options for this. Okay. Oops, spell it correctly as well. Right. Okay. Right, dolce, legato, largo, leggero, andante. Now, Uncle James, I'm going to give you a point for that because that is actually the tempo marking. Okay, it is marked andante, but andante is more the speed rather than the character. But it's exactly marked andante there. Leggero, mi hack dir. Now, to be honest, it doesn't mark that, but I would definitely describe it as leggero, light. Okay, so Mihak, you can have a point on there. I'm just writing these scores down. I get a point for that. I don't know what happened to Natalie from earlier. Hasn't participated for a while. Anyone else want to think they can get the exact Italian term that's written there? I'm thinking maybe something that describes a princess. There's a little clue for you. And the title of the piece is actually Romanza. So it's sort of a ballroom type. What Italian term might describe the character of this piece? We're struggling here, aren't we? Okay, I'll give you the English word then. And if you can just tell me the Italian term for graceful. Amore is love. And I'm actually going to take a point off Family Smith because waltz cannot be, because a waltz is to be in 3 time. So you lost a point there. All right. And ID, yes, graziosa is correct. Okay. So you got 4 points on there. Okay, now, hopefully that was a bit of fun, something to do on a Sunday afternoon when we can't go to our normal places of socialising or whatever we do. I'm not picking on them, it's just, well, they're racing ahead and I'm trying to give everyone else a chance. Just level the playing field a little bit, yeah? I'm actually very impressed by the speed of their answers and their musical knowledge. So I'm not bullying you, I'm just trying to make it fair for the others as well. You are doing very well. Okay, so that was a little bit of fun and, you know, and it worked quite well. So maybe we could do something like this for as long as this UK lockdown continues on a regular basis, yeah? If that's something people would be interested in. Also, I don't know if you've been aware of the last few days, I've been just doing a podcast, not a live stream, but a podcast where we just talk about little different aspects of your musical sort of studies, and 12 o'clock every day, just come out with a 5-minute little video, which you can pass the time with a little bit and just have some thinking about what you might be doing with your extra time at home. Okay, some fun little things. We had a time trial challenge, we had some Russian scales recently, we had some sight singing training, also some sight reading tests and various little things like that. So please join in with that. But one thing that I'm going to be adding from next week, if I get enough feedback from yourselves, is a virtual balcony concert. Okay, now you've all seen probably on the news how, especially places like Italy, they were singing on the balconies when they were in lockdown. They couldn't leave their houses and they're just trying to lift their spirits by singing from the balconies to each other's, to the neighbours. Yeah, what I propose we could do is we could just share some performances. So if you want to share your performances, and I could put them into one of these little podcasts to share with a wider community, like a virtual balcony concert for the rest of the listeners. So if that's something you'd be interested in, I'm just going to write in the comments below, or I'll do it later, in the description below, I'll write the email address where you can send little video clips or something like that, and maybe could be included in a future podcast. Anyway, thank you so much. I think that was quite a successful little hangout for half an hour, and hopefully passed a little bit of your Sunday afternoon with a bit more fun than it could have been just sitting doing nothing. Okay, so thank you very much for participating. Will I see you all again next time, I hope, on next Sunday at the same time? It seems to work quite well. So hopefully that will be a regular occurrence, as long as the UK stays in their sort of quarantine lockdown period. Now I'm just trying to... Yep, we're going to just close the stream now, and thanks all for participating. See you next week.